To say that I have a love-hate relationship with Call of Duty is a massive understatement that I've begun to realize over the years. Call of Duty has been a franchise that I have a rough history with, as well as others, I'm sure. I grew up around the Modern Warfare 2 times, where tryhards as well as shouting obscenities and slurs at each other were commonplace, and times were good for the franchise. But then the annual 3 studios would help release a new game each year, and I think that is when Call of Duty began to truly lose a lot of its luster over the years. I always have gone on record in saying that I honestly think that Black Ops 2 was the last Call of Duty that I loved every aspect of. Every other Call of Duty since then, despite putting a lot of time into, couldn't really keep my attention for very long. Ghost was weak, Advanced Warfare was enjoyable for a time, as well as Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare was painfully mid, aside from its campaign, never cared much for World War II, and Black Ops 4 was pretty mixed, and you get the idea. With the massive disappointment of Modern Warfare 3 2023, fear and panic began to set in, as Treyarch would be the next to deliver the next Call of Duty, and thus leads to the recent addition with Black Ops 6. So here we are. And now that Activision is now bought out by Microsoft, it only made sense when it was announced that Black Ops 6 would be the first game to release on Game Pass as well as retail price. Back in my original Xbox Showcase video, I mentioned how it actually got me excited for Call of Duty, and most of it is because of the new innovations that the game was bringing to the table, such as omnidirectional movement, among other things. Now, Call of Duty announcing new stuff usually gets the same level of reception as Madden, where barely any of it is improved, or in some cases, it's a massive downgrade. But the showcase for Black Ops 6 really had people turn their heads for the first time in quite a while. This would all lead to the closed beta being available for free for Game Pass subscribers several months later. And thus, here we are. I was very cautiously optimistic, to say the least, as I don't really trust Activision as far as I can throw them harder than a dreadnought on a Helldrake. I was scared, but also looking forward to this game. But is it nearly as much of a justification of my fears as the Realm of Chaos has suggested? Well, my good buddy Chunk and myself spent the entirety of the 2 betas playing it together and experiencing most, if not all, of what the multiplayer has to offer, and frankly, both of us were shockingly impressed. I want to say that we are so back, but I'm also still somewhat cautious, as while both betas have been somewhat great, I did notice some of the cracks about to show later on. But I've taken enough time, so let's get into why I'm kinda hopeful for this Call of Duty. Let's dive deep into the storm and talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Alright, let's get the most important thing out of the way, which is the gameplay, as the gunplay of the most recent Call of Duties is pretty much made the same across all of the recent titles. From Modern Warfare in 2019 to now, most of the gunplay has been mostly carried over. That's kinda what happens when you make the exact same game every year with little to no changes, isn't that right, Madden? Anyway, that's pretty much the same thing here in Black Ops 6. Most of the gunplay is still actually pretty fun, and all the guns, if not most of them, feel really good and sound really good, has really good sound design, which is nothing but good props to the sound team for it. They've always nailed it out of the park in this regard.
Black Ops in. Black Ops out. Hey, welcome to Black Ops. Sorry, Black Ops. Get your head out of your ass. This is Black Ops.
Now, let's get into the new innovations this game brings to the table. The biggest one I can think of to start is the omnidirectional movement. This mechanic actually does a great job at making Call of Duty finally come to life for many reasons. The number one reason is that it allows for a lot more control over the battlefield to the player. Movement just feels buttery smooth, and it just feels the right amount of control given to you, and it meshes with the gunplay actually super well. However, this also does allow for tryhard players to absolutely continue to move around like a flying squirrel on acid, as that's been the biggest problem with the movement in these games. But despite this, it's super fun to experiment with this new movement system. Oh, but the best innovation to the gameplay isn't even the movement. The highlight is the body shield mechanic. This is by far the funniest new addition to a Call of Duty that I have ever seen. Not only does it work super well with it being an extra level of protection while you're able to gun the opponent down, but it also has proximity chat, meaning that you can hear them and they can hear you. So it leads to some of the best trolling I have seen in a long time. We're not quite getting to the golden era of trolling like back in 2009, but we're getting really close with this new mechanic. It leads to just hands down the best clips.
I got him. What's up, pussy? How you doing, man?
He's touching me. He's R. Kellying me. Hey!
Nah,
He's Drake.
bro.
He's touching me. I'm a minor.
Yo, what?
Come here. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I was the one who said I loved you first. It was about 8 years ago. Don't act like you don't know.
If they can keep this mechanic the way that it is, we are in for a great meme machine going forward. So yeah, in regards to the conversation of gameplay, that's pretty much it when it comes to innovation. COD has always had an issue of it feeling like the same game with some small improvements, and that's no different here. However, these are some of the best new mechanics they have introduced, and meshes extremely well with the other highlight being the maps. As far as map design goes, there are only 2 maps that I think aren't really great, which goes to show just how well designed a large majority of them are, in my opinion. A large majority of them are very multi-layered and have multiple avenues of cover, movement, mobility, and verticality, as well as, while some of them are small maps, they don't necessarily feel small. What do I mean by that? Well, as far as COD maps go, they range from either being too big or too linear more often than not. But with Black Ops 6, they have such levels of interactability and layers both up and down that while it doesn't feel necessarily lengthy big, but it's rather size big. It's actually the one occasion where both the gameplay and the gunplay, as well as the map design, actually manages to clash together and makes Call of Duty truly come to life. I think that's why I enjoyed this COD more than the other ones, because it all meshes together super well and doesn't conflict with one another. My personal favorite map in the game is Skyline, for this exact reason. That being said, I did mention that there are 2 maps that I didn't like, the Pit and Babylon. The Pit's biggest problem is that it is too small and way too cramped. It feels claustrophobic, but not in a good way. Like, more in a way that makes navigating it not as fun. It makes it so that the already fast time to kill that much quicker, as groups will get crushed within seconds. Babylon doesn't have that exact same issue specifically. In fact, Babylon is actually just another really fun map I liked more than I did the Pit, but the biggest issue the map has are the spawns. Good lord, they are horrendous. At any point, you can just get spawn camped to Kingdom Come, and because they're all fixed, your entire squad can just get obliterated because they're all in the exact same zip code. It's awful. If they tweak the spawns, I think it'd be a lot better map than a lot of people give it credit for. Despite that, I really did enjoy the maps this time around. It goes doubly so when the modes are as fun as I remembered. I tried as many of the modes as I could, but I have specifically 2 favorites that I don't remember playing before in the previous games, so they probably are new additions, but ones that I genuinely enjoyed. Kill Order and Gunfight. Kill Order has each team protecting a high-value target, or HVT for short, while also trying to eliminate the HVT on their team, and killing the HVT on the opposite team gives you bonus points. It's genuinely fun, as well as the other new mode, Gunfight. In contrast to Gun Game, Gunfight has you with a group of 3 using a random loadout every 2 rounds, and you either have to kill the opposing team or capture the overtime flag to win each round. This is probably the best mode for me. It rewards you for being quick on the draw and being adaptable on the fly. I had the most fun with this mode in particular, and I'm excited to play more of it at launch. The only last few things I have to say that are positive is that I love the pick 5 system for the gun loadouts so that you can actually strategically pick your attachments. The UI has been rather good except for the garbage that is Call of Duty HQ. and it's super quick and easy to get into matches with little to no real connection drops. I rarely have any complaints for what I experienced in this beta. But this is only just the closed beta. The open beta, however, is where I started to get worried. The open beta kinda sucked to go through. A lot more lag during matches, and connections overall was just worsened somehow. I'm not sure what happened, but I think them transferring to the open beta oddly made the game worse. I'm not sure what it was, but it honestly is the one reason why I'm cautiously optimistic. Even more so because of the fact that it releases a month from now. That's not really enough time to really test out the servers unless if they do some hardcore stress testing, which could lead to some crunch, and I'm not really sure if that's how it works, but it still makes me a little bit worried all the same. It's a shame too, because I genuinely really liked this beta. I liked everything I experienced with the Black Ops 6 beta. However, there's still that Activision stink that still lingers, and it still has me going in cautious. But since my good buddy Chunk decided to join me on this experience, it's only fair that I ask for him to give his final thoughts as well before we wrap things up.
Thank you for introducing me, Spec, and hello again. Bet you weren't expecting me this soon, huh? Bet you thought I was only in fighting game videos, huh? Well, too bad. I'm here, and I'm here to talk about the Black Ops 6 beta. My impressions. So first off, I need to give a clarification. I have not been a Call of Duty player all my life. I've only played from Modern Warfare 2 all the way until Black Ops 2. This is my first time coming back to the series after a long ass time, and so far from what I played from the 2 betas, I had a blast. Seriously, it was generally the most fun I've ever had in a Call of Duty in a long ass time. I've just had such a fun time with Spec playing the game. We played like a lot of matches, and we just had a fun time trying out the guns and shooting people in the beta. It was just something that I really had fun doing, like playing with my friends. All the way back in Black Ops 2, it was just an enjoyable time. I really glad to have played the game with Spec. And by that extension, I'm really excited to try out Zombies mode with him. I can't wait to try out Zombies. It was probably one of my favorite things to do in Black Ops 2. And I'm hoping that it's the same thing as that here. Along with that, trying out the single player, I hope that the story is good. Something around like I know it takes place in the 1990s, but I hope to see some surprises and some good like storytelling in that front. My thoughts on the Black Ops 6 beta, it was just an enjoyable time. I've had tons of fun with the game. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but is it like up there, like going forward, can it be as good as its predecessors? Yeah, if they put like a lot of time and effort into it, I can totally see them be as good as Black Ops 2. I just need to see it for myself, because this is Activision, and I still don't trust them after they canceled Crash Bandicoot 5. Again, fuck Activision for doing that. But yeah, overall, really enjoy the beta. I'll have to give it like a 8.5/9 out of 10. Really freaking solid start, and I can't wait to welcome everybody to the world of Black Ops in this beta. And again, thank you Spec for playing a few matches with me. I've just had a wonderful time, and you're a really good teammate. Can't wait to work on that invitation to Street Fighter 6 with you very soon. And again, hope you guys for watching, and make sure to subscribe to Spec if you haven't, and look forward to the future. Bye.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta is as if the term cautiously optimistic became a physical entity. I'm loving what Treyarch is cooking here, and a part of me is hoping for the best for this release, but at the same time, this is Activision we're talking about. A company that has turned COD more and more into the live service genre as time goes on, and has always been clear that sequels make more money than the live service model. That's exactly why Modern Warfare 3 and Overwatch 2 happened. So yeah, I'm hoping what happened with that game doesn't happen here, but so far, I actually do have some high hopes for this. I can't wait to see what they do with both the campaign, as well as Zombies, and even more so with the multiplayer come launch day. I look forward to talking about it with you all when it arrives. But for now, thank you all so much for joining me in this. More content is coming soon, I promise. It's just been a hectic last couple of months. I'm currently playing Space Marine 2 at the time of recording this video. Amazing game! And I got some more coming, and especially for when Halloween comes around. But until then, just remember, the storm is always watching. Y'all have a great one, and I'll catch you all next time.